Let me see. Laura's still popping in, but let me see. Troy, do you want to go ahead?
Sure.
Hey, man. How are you,
There.
Troy?
I'm okay. Hanging in there. I was calling while I was on the, or I raised my hand when I first signed in. I was on the road and was experiencing what I'm going to ask my question about. I know we're a little bit tighter for time now, but so I'll try to abbreviate it. But I'm having like multiple times a week moments where I feel like so overwhelmed and stressed, and I'm just like juggling so many different things that I'll get to the point where like half of the times I feel like I just completely blank out on like what oil to use, all my pranic healing training, like it's like everything just goes out the window, and I'm just at a point where I feel so overwhelmed. I like kind of feel like I can't even think or access my training. And I am just curious.
Is there a lot going on right now, or you just are feeling overwhelmed, or there's a lot going on and because of that you're feeling overwhelmed?
Yeah, I guess all of the above. I mean, I'm a single dad, so I watch him more than his mom does.
Okay.
And so that's one level. And then I don't have like a consistent partner that's like really there to help me with any of that. And
Okay.
then I'm usually working like anywhere from 30 to 50 hours a week, hanging art and all that. And then I'm running clinic on Monday nights for pranic healing. And then I do a couple other things for a couple other groups that I volunteer with. And I have consciously tried to like rein it in, and I felt spread thin. So I try to, pull it back and create more space so that I can depressurize or whatever. But it just feels like I keep getting, even once I think I have trimmed it down about as far as I can, I'll get to the point where I'm just like, I feel like I'm gonna snap.
Okay. And is some of it the emotions are a little overwhelming, or you don't really have emotions, you just feel overwhelmed by like external things?
Probably both. I mean, I feel like there's physical, mental, and emotional overwhelm, like kind of all
Okay.
gone.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of stress, like juggling and keeping a tight schedule, and like you have you're not missing things in your schedule, right? You have things like written down, or it's so regimented, you know what it is and where it's at, or do you feel like you're constantly going, oh, what's next?
Mostly successfully juggle the scheduling and all of that stuff, and get the things ticked off. But like, occasionally I'll miss something, and because of like the role I play at work or in a couple of the other situations too, like I kind of, there isn't really any margin of error.
Right.
And so if I
That's
do miss something, I
it
just feel
sounds
like
that. I think that part is okay, but I would say just be very regimented about like writing your schedule down so that you don't have the stress of like, what am I supposed to do? Like all of it's written down. Like, so like brain dump it so you can just like look and go, oh, today I have to do this. Not what was I supposed to do today? Like just have it all written down. I mean, it's not going to change anything. It does take the stress level down a little bit, but it just sounds like you're also just juggling a lot. So you could do different things. I'm gonna like change it up. Like normally I would say, well, let's have you do this or that. I'm gonna do something that kind of nails a couple of things at once. And let's have you just go to a single oil. I'm gonna have you use one of the different clary sages. Like use either regular or the dark, it doesn't matter which one, but if you have enough, take a salt bath in it. But if you just have like a little tiny bottle, inhale it and just go through different parts of your body, especially the neck, the head, the shoulders, the torso. I mean, really, I'd visit all the different pieces, and this is a couple of things for you, right? So one is it is very relaxing to the central nervous system, right? And when you're juggling a whole bunch like this, one of the things that you look for is different piece of the nervous system getting agitated, specifically the central nervous system. So by keeping the agitation down in the central nervous system, it allows for all the pieces to kind of work a little bit better. But when it's agitated, you'll notice your emotions get a little bit like shorter. You start to get a little anxiety. It's hard for you to think clearly. Like all those things kind of start happening. So there's that component. Then to take that same explanation and go a little deeper, it is a really good oil for stress. It's a really solid oil for stress management, and you have a schedule that's very involved, and any deviation from that schedule is going to cause you stress. Think of your schedule as if you hit all the marks in your schedule, you're maintaining homeostasis. And then I started to chuckle there because like I have the same issue. Like I have to have my schedule written down, and like, if I have a 10-minute break, I have something to fill that 10 minutes, that I have a list that rotates of like insert whatever it is there, like, and so it really starts to become about like managing that schedule. And like you said, you have a bunch of different pieces, and all of them are stressful, but probably the biggest one is the child, because it's the one that's never straightforward. You're always having to make adjustments for what's going on with the kid and this and that. And so you don't have something where you can go, I can show up at 5 and at 6 I can do XYZ. You're dealing with a child. Like you do your best, but you're always having to kind of manage your schedule because of that. And so you're literally like externally living that homeostasis / allostasis mechanism. Like anytime that you deviate from your schedule, you're kind of going into the allostasis state, which causes, that is literally what causes stress. And so the clary sage will help reduce the stress somewhat. It will help calm down the nervous system, it will help deal with the stress. Then, just like I was talking to Robert about the inner health rays, you do enough like cleansing and classes and everything, not too worried about the outer health rays for you. But like I'd say, with all the things going on, the inner rays probably get a little bit congested. And I would say just breathe it into different parts of the body. You're alleviating stress, but you're opening up those health rays just to allow like stress, old emotions, lymphatic movement, because anytime that the mind is not clear, I mean, one of the very first things you go to is like, what's lymphatic function doing? Like what is lymphatic movement doing? Because I mean, it literally like slows down your brain. It makes you like not be able to recall pieces of information. It makes you have a harder time cognitively processing certain things. And so you are hitting all of those different pieces with just one oil. Like if I was to go through and say, well, these would be my 3 concerns, like instead of saying let's use an oil for each one, like I say, let's use this for all 3. That way it even cuts down the amount of time that you need to go through and treat some of these things. You can always augment at night with like kava or during the day with some basil or neroli or petitgrain. But you know, take a coffee bath maybe from time to time, or even a basil bath. But I think the big one for you is just reducing stress, opening up those inner rays, just to allow things to detoxify and release, because you have a tight schedule. And you know, and I share this from time to time. I think I mentioned this like a couple of weeks ago. That like when I would deal with like people in upper management in the corporate world, or a CEO or something like that, they wouldn't say, can you get rid of my stress? They'd go like this. There was this one guy, he always did it really funny. He goes, can you just lower my stress a little bit? Like he would always do this little finger movement. Could you just lower it a little bit? And I would always laugh and I go, do you want me to take it away? And he goes, yeah, impossible. Like he knew his schedule was too crazy for there to be no stress. He's like, just take the edge off. Like, can you just take the edge off? And I think that is a thing where whenever you're juggling a lot of different things, it is going to be stressful. And it's like even how we were talking about like this class coming up, where it's like the security of just knowing like good things are going to happen. Like the opposite of it is when we have so many like negative experiences and we're stressed out, it's almost like, and God, I spend a majority of my life just like, when's the next shoe going to drop? Like I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop. I'm always waiting for the fire to put out. And it's really about like kind of shifting out of that. And this would be a simple way to go through and do it, but even in a way, that's kind of what we're trying to address with that one class. But here, I would say just is like a survival thing. You can use the tarragon or the benzoin for when you get really overwhelmed emotionally, when something's a little upsetting. But I would keep a little bottle of clary sage in your pocket, and just whenever things start coming up, or you have 5 minutes to yourself and you're like, I can sit at Starbucks for 5 minutes and drink my coffee and just not talk to anybody. Drink your coffee and smell the clary sage, and then put it away and do your thing. And just every chance you get, just inhale the clary sage for a little bit, and it just opens up to detoxify you both physically, emotionally, mentally, calms down the central nervous system, reduces the stress, and it could be one of those things that helps you to kind of manage, you could say. Try that and see if it helps. If it doesn't, we'll come up with something different. But for you, I like simple for this, because you're on the go. It's not like you can go, okay, I'm really busy, I'm stressed out, I'm not feeling good. Let me sit down for an hour and do something. That's part of the thing, like you said, like not being able to do the practices and the things that you learn. There's times to sit down and do things, and then there's times to just, how can I do this in 5 minutes? Like, I have 5 minutes, what can I do? And if you start like kind of stacking some of those 5 minutes, it might change how your day flows or how your week flows. And so, I mean, look for relief in the moment, but then like do it for a week or two and then go, okay, am I doing my week a little bit better, a little bit easier, or is it still pretty funky? And if within a week or two, it's still not like improving, we'll come up with something different. But I like this as a good starting place for this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Do you have some clary sage of some sort? With
I
all
have
the
a
classes,
5 mil.
yeah, you have some somewhere. Like you got to have probably a couple of little bottles at least.
I have a 5 mil.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Even if I mean, in the workplace, you might not want to put it on your wrist till the end of the day, but I mean, you can, but definitely inhale it a bunch during the day.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Laura's still trying to get in. Cindy?
Hi, I just wanted to ask a question, kind of piggybacking. So I was planning to diffuse like clary sage and bergamot and lemon with a house full of people. We have this hurricane coming. And
Yeah, like I was just like, I've been reading about it all day. Like I was like, looks like Sarasota is on the path. Like we've already been like blessing on the situation, and we're about to, after this session, we're going to do it with Astara.
well, you have been effective because it at the moment it's supposed to hit south of us, meaning we're not going to, we'll get the eye, but not the dirty side, which is
Okay, good.
tremendously better. But I'm thinking about the stress that having a house full of people who handle this kind of stress differently,
Yeah,
just to diffuse something, have om mani padme om maybe quietly in the background so they
yeah,
aren't
yeah,
stressed by hearing it. But
yeah.
would that be helpful?
Yeah, I like that. Like clary sage. I mean, lemon is uplifting. Clary sage, bergamot.
Maybe a little rue if if their personalities are
Yeah, I mean, it is a conflict. Yeah, I'd like the combination of all that.
okay.
Like add the rue as well. I'd probably go light on the rue just because people will probably like the bergamot and the lemon,
And
but
the
the clary
lemon.
sage might be like, and then you add rue into it, and they're like, so you just say, this is for stress and colds and flus and
Yeah,
whatever. You're
I
probably
just know
okay.
how
Yeah.
some people, they're tolerating each other rather and then adding the stress on top of it.
Oh yeah.
So okay.
That
Perfect.
storm looked crazy. Like,
Yeah. Yes. My school is in the path, so maybe I'll have another week off.
yeah.
All right,
Well,
thank you.
we'll keep blessing it on our end, and we'll do it with the star and all that. And so I already sent messages out to some of the ministers, and so but we're going to do a little ceremony for it tonight. So
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
you're so welcome.
Laura just got in for us.
Perfect. Hey, Laura.
Hey, Greg, that was quite an ordeal. Thank you very much, Samantha. This goes along with what you were talking about the retirement home. I'm getting ready to go visit my 96-year-old aunt who is in a
Okay.
nursing home that is just hanging on. She's
Okay.
she's fretful because she doesn't know where she is.
Sorry, Laura, you cut out on us.
Yeah, I think I get the gist of it, but yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, if not, if this doesn't answer, like, let us know, and I'll call you afterwards because I want to be able to answer this question for you. I would say going in there
In this
Oh,
process.
there you go. Well, we lost you for a bit. So you're going into a nursing home. Is it your mother or grandmother?
Aunt.
Aunt.
My aunt.
Okay. And you're worried for her, or you're worried about for yourself going in there?
No. What I want to do is she doesn't remember where she is most of the time. She's very, fretful. I want to calm her body down if possible. I want to, whatever I can do to help her. Because she's just kind of holding on.
Okay.
I mean, would it be something as simple as lavender?
I mean, that possibly, let me look at a couple of things here real quick. Do you have some spikenard?
Yes.
Do spikenard. Like I like spikenard for this. Like vetiver would keep her, like it would bring her back into her body a little bit. This, like it's calming, it's soothing, it calms the stress response. It helps, like, you would use it in meditation to take off in the inner world and expand, like when you're meditating. And so it's soothing, but it doesn't necessarily keep grounding you into the body like that. So I would say spikenard. Like I would diffuse it. I'd even put a little on her feet if she'll handle that. And if
she'd love
not,
it.
just yeah. So if you wanted, you could put a couple drops on like a tissue, like crumble it up, put a couple drops on, and then unfold it and just stick it somewhere in the room so that it like diffuses into the room. It should help with her transition process.
And just if it calms her, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, it should calm her down. And like, you know, the goal that I always try to do, like not to accelerate the transition process, but just to make it as peaceful and soothing as possible, which I think is part of what you're saying about calming and soothing her down a little bit, is just to have it just be a calm process. And so I think spikenard is one of your better bets there.
Great. Other quick question. My friend had knee replacement last Thursday, has
Okay.
this huge bruise behind her left leg.
Yeah.
What would you put on that?
Helichrysum, like helichrysum for the scar, helichrysum for the inflammation, the pain, helichrysum for the bruising, like for all of the above. I would put helichrysum on for a little while.
Perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're so welcome.
What oils would be good for foot neuropathy caused by diabetes?
Yeah, that can be a little bit of a hard one. Most times with that, I mean, I go back to the moving the lymph, you know, because basically you want to take pressure off the nerves. And the idea would be that any time that the lymphatic system is congested, it overstimulates the sensory nerves. And granted, there's neuropathy there, but we don't want to have pressure on the nerve, and we don't want to have too much lymphatic stagnation there. And with like things like diabetic conditions and things like that, there is a higher potential for lymphatic stagnation. And so if you also look, a lot of times the veins of the legs when there's neuropathy are dilated, so there's not a lot of return blood flow getting to the heart, like the blood is stagnating a little bit more in the lower limb. So things like anything lymphatic in nature, the lymphatic blend, bay laurel, cedar, anything like that can be helpful. And then even some basil might be a little bit helpful. Coffee could even be a little bit helpful. And then things that are going to support venous movement, which is like return blood to the heart. And so the pain itself, the neuropathic pain relief can be helpful, but I like the idea of calming down the area with decongesting the lymphatic system. Now, if you need to calm down the sensory nerves, sage would work and vetiver would work. And you could put it in like a lotion or an ointment and rub it on the feet and the lower leg. And after a couple times, that should help, but still needing to work the lymphatic movement in the area to calm down those sensory nerves.
I'm working to regrow cartilage. Is there truly no chance of regrowing cartilage with high-end supplement therapy, energy work, oils, inflammatory cleanup, diet, meditation, and anything I've missed? I've been lots of time for 1 to 2 years, particularly not for someone who wants to do surgery or is not a surgery candidate.
Is there any cartilage left, or is it completely gone?
She's here. You can unmute yourself. You can type in. I don't want to call your name. I know it was a private message.
Yeah, right. I was just someone who's definitely not
Oh,
a candidate for surgery. Hey, how you doing, Greg?
the-
And I don't know how much. The short answer is I don't know how far gone the the knee cartilage is. I just know they
Okay.
want to do surgery. So
Right.
that could be
So-
anything.
So here's the issue. If there's still cartilage there, things like joint relief can help preserve the cartilage that's there. But regrowing the cartilage, they are doing things with modern medicine where I can't remember if it's like an injection or a series of injections, but they're able to, it's in the early stages, but they're able to basically kind of regrow the cartilage or put in like a fake cartilage in the area that I think is non-surgical. It's like with, if I understand it correctly, it's with injections. That is possible, but cartilage doesn't have its own blood supply, and so it's it doesn't. It doesn't grow back like everything else. Like, you can
That's very.
keep it hydrated, like it won't degenerate as fast. But if it's gone or it's real thin and you're trying to grow it back, you can stop it a lot of times where it's at, but you're not going to get it to grow back. It's like trying to grow like a crack in the tooth or something. The tissue is dead. It doesn't have a blood supply. It won't do that. And so, yeah, but you keep blood moving, you keep everything to keep them as comfortable as possible. If there's a little bit of cartilage there, you can buy a lot of time. But if it's bone on bone, you keep them comfortable. And but modern medicine does have something that they're going down that route with. And I think there's going to come a time where like back surgeries for bone on bone and knee surgeries and things are going to be a thing of the past. I just don't know when that's going to happen. Yeah.
Greg, this is Laura.
Thank you.
I'm answering what I had with her issue. I'm getting injections of hyaluronic acid and PRP, where they're doing they're taking my blood for the PRP, and they're they're doing stem cell, whatever, and injecting it back in my knees. And you just have to find somebody that's doing that in her town.
And so does it like put cartilage back, or is it just keeping it from degenerating, or?
It's supposed to be building back, and I'm going to do it again after the 6th month point. And he said some people have to do it multiple times, but he said with some people it works the first time, but he's had a lot of success.
So
I'm
I think this is what I was hearing about. Like it's some version of something like this.
Right. And
Right.
so I'm getting 2 injections, the hyaluronic acid and the PRP.
Okay, and so I'm hoping desperately that what we're really seeing is the idea of.
You cut out.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, that was me. Hopefully
go.
something that would option kind of like operate sort of like a a seeding cell for the cartilage. So if we could just introduce like the stem cells for it, it might go ahead and plant itself and start growing again.
Out of my area of expertise, yeah.
I was just going to say, let's just keep hoping and praying. Okay, thank you, sir. Oh, and thank you, Laura.
Yeah.
We still have 15 minutes.
Okay.
Practice.
Yeah, we got everybody. Okay. What I was going to do is take longer. All right, let's do this. We kept talking about health rays and things. Let's if you have basil, if you have neroli, if you have petitgrain, if you have clary sage, if you have coffee, mastic. What else is there? Give me a second, I can give you more options. sandalwood, the blend spasmophilia, Benahi, but I doubt anybody has that. But if you have any of those, if not something like helichrysum or okay, so let's have you do this. We're going to use this to kind of just open up health rays in the body. So let's have you begin inhaling, and your awareness is on your chest, like your front chest, your back chest, not necessarily on the heart, just like your whole like upper chest cavity. If you don't have anything else, the regular sage, but clary sage is better. Yeah, but if you don't have anything else. You're taking long, slow, deep breaths. Go to your mid-back area. Long, slow, deep breaths, your mid-back area. Your low back area. And then down into your hips. The sides of your hips, the back of your hips. Your neck. Breathe it into your neck, the tops of your shoulders and your neck. Now go to an area of your body that's compromised. If you have a bad hip, a bad knee, a bad shoulder, whatever it is, issues with the liver, wherever it is, go to that spot and begin inhaling. Hold your attention on that area and inhale. Okay, just be still for a second. Let go of the inhalation. Again, into the compromised area of your body. Take long, slow, deep breaths. And then just be still. Just let everything go. Keep your attention on that spot. We'll invoke the angel Raphael, the angel for healing in that area. I'll just tone the name. Ra, fa, Ra, fa, Ra, Okay, you guys, we're going to switch over to the Astara session where we bless the prayer petitions, and we'll also be blessing the hurricane in the Florida area, southern Alabama. Join us if you can, and if not, hopefully we catch you tomorrow night, and if not, this weekend is the Vital Centers class, which a lot of people have had, and so it'll be a nice review, and I think we have some new people as well, but yeah, hopefully I see you on the weekend. That's a great class. So take care, you guys.